Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Critical Thinking course. Please be aware that you will need to access and download the accompanying worksheet prior to watching this video. Please pause the video and do this now if you have not already done so. Just click on Downloadables.
In part 1, we considered what constitutes critical thinking and considered some of the elements involved. In part 2, we will look more closely at some of the key factors involved.
Before continuing, pause the video and note down your ideas for Thinking Task 1 on the worksheet. Once completed, release the pause button and continue viewing.
We would say that the 3 key factors for developing critical thinking are the following: willingness, access to critical content, and opportunities to practice thinking critically. All 3 of these factors are interconnected.
As we have already said, our first key factor is to facilitate student willingness to get better at thinking critically. So the first thing we need to do is to ensure motivation. And as we all know, motivation increases through improved performance. Like a footballer or musician, a critical thinker's thinking improves with each opportunity to practice. So, how can we encourage this in the classroom? As we saw in part 1 of this course, developing metacognitive abilities are a great way to start. In addition, hands-on critical thinking games or activities also offer our students an excellent way to develop this skill.
To do this successfully, however, we also need access to critical content. The nature and wealth of the content that we have access to today makes it more important than ever to be fully focused and selective in the choices that we make. We need to help students become proficient in doing this, and also to be especially careful with any website information that they access. When carrying out a research task, guide them towards the websites that you've checked out first and know are safe. Help them understand that not all the information on the World Wide Web is 100% reliable. Ask them to keep a checklist of any sites that they use, and train them in how to focus their own searches accurately and safely.
Willingness and access to critical content aside, we also need to provide a real-world context for our students to apply their critical thinking skills. This will help them appreciate how the information that they access can be filtered, decoded, and applied to their everyday lives. Also, making time for collaborative activities and debates in the classroom allows for shared thinking and the possibility to evaluate and take on board different viewpoints and perspectives. Pause the video now to complete Thinking Task 2 on your worksheet. Once completed, continue viewing.
At this point, let's consider what skills our students need in order to become critical thinkers. An organisation called the Foundation for Critical Thinking sets out a useful series of competence standards that are considered essential in order to be able to think critically. We will illustrate 4 of them here. You will then be asked to consider the other 4 as part of a post-viewing task.
The first Foundation for Critical Thinking standard is clarity. What can our students ask themselves to ensure clarity and check that they are being clear?
Can I explain in simple words what I want to say? Can I give some examples? Could I explain what I'm saying in other words?
The second is precision. Be accurate and make sure your statements stand up to scrutiny.
How do I know if what I'm saying is true or accurate? Can I give more details?
The third is relevance. Be relevant and make sure you are not diverting from your learning objective.
How will this help me to solve the problem? How does this relate to what I'm trying to do?
And the fourth is depth. Examine the challenges you are facing. Find out what is the most difficult aspect of the problem you are trying to solve.
What are the biggest issues with the problem? What are some of the difficulties that need dealing with?
According to the Foundation for Critical Thinking, if we encourage students to think critically, we will contribute to the development of their intellectual integrity, autonomy, perseverance, empathy, humility, and courage. Find out more about the rest of these standards in the post-viewing task.
We have now reached the end of part 2 of this course. In part 3, we will consider a 5-stage framework designed to promote opportunities for our students to engage in critical thinking.
Complete the post-viewing tasks on your worksheet and then compare your thinking with ours by accessing the online answer sheet. Just click on Downloadables.
Bye for now. We'll see you again in part 3.